The family of anti-apartheid activist Dr. Hoosen Haffajee says evidence will show that he did not commit suicide while in police custody. An inquest in 1978 found this to be the cause of his death. Haffajee was arrested by members of the special branch of the SAPS back in 1977 on suspicions of plotting to overthrow the state. A new inquest is currently being heard in the Pietermaritzburg High Court. eNCA's Letiwe Mdluli has the latest.
44 years after the death of Dr. Hoosen Haffajee, his family might soon get closure. Dr. Haffajee's death still remains a mystery, with the family still seeking for answers till this day. The family says on August 2nd, 1977, Dr. Haffajee was abducted by members of the special branch of the South African Police Service and taken to police cells, where they believe he was later tortured and killed. He was suspected of plotting to overthrow the state and advocating for a revolution to establish a socialist people's republic. The family says they do not believe that he was involved in any political matters and have been calling for justice ever since.
They told us that Hoosen committed suicide, which we couldn't believe. He was not a person like that. He was too strong-willed, to ever contemplate suicide. And in fact, my religion, Islam, condemns suicide because life is given to us by Allah, and it is He that takes away life. And if we were to take our life on our own, then it is a very grave sin, an unforgivable sin. See? So with those strong beliefs that we had, my brother Hoosen was religious, and he too had that strong feeling, and he would never ever contemplated suicide.
Haffajee's brother says his death left the family devastated and says they have not been able to move on from this tragedy.
I couldn't handle it. I couldn't believe it. I broke down. And then to see my mother so devastated, and the way she was crying, and to see my father for the first time in my life, I saw my father crying like a baby. I couldn't handle it. I just couldn't handle it. And I waited patiently when the body came, and it was terrible. It's indescribable.
Following the mysterious death, an inquest was opened by the apartheid state in 1978, where the state's pathologist found that the cause of death was due to hanging and was concluded that he committed suicide. But his family says he would have never committed such an act. Since then, they've been fighting tooth and nail to get the inquest reopened and had hired their own pathologist who provided more information about Haffajee's death. And on Monday, the inquest began in the Pietermaritzburg High Court, where new evidence was presented. The family's lawyer says their aim is to get justice.
The inquest that took place in 1978 was a total sham as far as we are concerned. There was clearly cover-ups. There was a failure to disclose exactly what happened at that time. And we believe magistrates at that point in time they never applied their minds to the way an inquest ought to be dealt with in a fair, objective, and an unbiased manner. We even believe that the investigation was not an objective and an unbiased investigation. So we've put a team together, and we've had a doctor, a pathologist, an expert pathologist, and an aeronautical engineer to have a look at the old the records and the injuries that doctor had sustained. And we found that it was completely inconsistent with the findings of the 1978 inquest. And that is why we intend to show evidence as to why we believe that the death of Dr. Haffajee was not caused by suicide, but by the interrogation and the torture that he endured during that particular point in time.
The family says that they are hoping that this time around, the state will not fail them.
All in all, I just want it to be proved that my brother did not hang himself and he did not commit suicide. That will give us the satisfaction that was tormenting us for the past 44 years. And though in our hearts we believe he didn't do it, but the world needs to know.
The matter is set to continue in this court on Monday. Let's see Mdluli, Pietermaritzburg.